limping down the way. And who that fella was who came by yesterday. I quickly turn my face before I start to blush, 'cause frankly there is nothing I can say. Down, down, down. I've always had a thing for pushing the extremes, and I just got a thing you won't find in the magazines. This molded silicone has got me begging, please give me more of what I really need, 'cause there is no cock like horse cock. Send your asshole into shock. You need horse cock, of course cock. Grab the loop and slam the day away. My shaft is quivering and my balls are turning blue as I think of drinking in a foot or even two of my favorite stallion that I keep in my top drawer. Slip it in and I'll be dripping goo as I take more cock. Horse cock, shut the door and turn the lock. Is your cock a horse cock? You will never hear me saying nay, 'cause there is no cock like horse cock. Rub my dick inside a sock. Don't stop now, horse cock. Stretch out my insides and make me bray. My lovely horse cock, horse cock. Shoop de doop dap 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 down. Horse cock, my horse cock. Yeah, dap 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 da 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 da.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. It is May 19th, 2020. Pretty crazy. First live stream in quite some time. I think over a week. It's probably been closer to 2 weeks. I think I streamed the Inside Xbox gameplay reveals, and that's like the last time I did any sort of stream to have a podcast happen or anything. Still working on when I'm going to bring that back and come back full tilt with guests and everything. I really want to go all out with that when it does come back. So until then, I'm doing a stream today. I was looking up news and other things that I could make a video on with this time instead of a stream, and there just wasn't really anything that interested me. There's obviously things out there happening. The CEO of Sony came out and said that they're going to be unveiling games for PlayStation 5 soon. This kind of falls in line with what Jeff Grubb from VentureBeat said about June 4th being the day they're going to unveil stuff. So whatever, that's news that I could talk about and would be exciting. I mean, we talk about potential directs all the time or when we think a direct's coming, but I don't know. I feel like just because of the mystery and the cloud surrounding PlayStation 5, I'm not really sure what to think about that news. But for sure, if there's a live event or something, even if there's not a live event, if it's just something they throw up on the internet and then I can react to it after, it's fine. I'll still react to it. I'll give you my thoughts on the PlayStation 5 lineup and all that. But today we're going to be doing an AMA. We're going to be a Q&A. I kind of planned a little bit ahead for this, so I have some questions already submitted through Twitter, through Facebook, and on a community post on YouTube. So I'm going to get to those questions first before I get to the live questions. But I do want to, everyone who's in the chat, I do want to say hi to quick here. So Mark Greenberg, welcome back, my man. Oh, we got a $10 just super chat out of thin air. Australian, of course. Thank you, the 8th Arc, for your $10. Australian, I greatly appreciate that. I'm not doing, shots or anything today. It's obviously during the day, so that's just not something that's going to happen. I'm not much of a day drinker, but maybe some other stream. But thank you so much for the $10, Thark. I always appreciate the support. That's another way, by the way, if you guys do super chat or whatever, you can jump your question to the top of my pile. So if you really want your question answered right away and you have to dip out and I'm answering questions that are pre-selected already, be sure to do something like that. Even I think it's like $2, I think, for you to say something. So Mark Greenberg, welcome, man. AR Mondo, obviously the 8 Tharks here. Jack C. Afterdale, YouTube 123, yes. Well, I guess YT 123, yes. I shouldn't assume that means YouTube. Let's see here. Joseph Kirchner's here. Mitchell Clybourne's here. How's it going, man? Scrolling on down. Lots of chit-chat today. That's good. Slane is here. Good morning. Let's see here. Thanks for serenading us with the OG music. No problem, Mark. I've been doing that a lot more often in my sporadic live streams because that feels like the old days when they were really sporadic, but they were always just, wild and crazy. Those Splatoon 2 nights. You remember those nights? We got Crit Astra here. Says hello there. Player Essence Ninja here. Did you see OJ's playthrough of Zork? I did not see it. I heard about him complaining on it on Twitter afterwards. I completely disagree with him. But Zork, Return to Zork, that entire Zork series, it's not for everyone. And the kind of gamer and the kind of games that he enjoys playing would tell me that it's definitely not the kind of game for him. It's extremely difficult, like extremely. It's one of the hardest video games in existence. And you have to be into the kind of game it is to appreciate it truly. A lot of people aren't going to be into it. There's a reason why the series isn't around anymore. Not a lot of people are into it. It's like the niche of the niche. So it is what it is. I don't expect anyone to play it and enjoy it. Let's see here. We have Big Doggo 38 is here. Floresi Basolta calls me the bomb. Cool. The Tharky has a question for after the pre-selected questions. All right, so I'm going to get to the pre-selected questions, which are basically just all the questions submitted on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and then I'll get to the questions from the chat. So we have 3 questions over on Twitter. Let me show you guys these questions. If I can, if it'll let me. Nope, not that one. This one. Here we go. All right, so first up, we got Sonic Man the Best here. It says, would you like to see an MMO open world Zelda game running in Unreal Engine 5? I mean, of course. Personally, I want like a Nintendo MMO. If I'm being completely honest, but a Zelda MMO would be great. I'm big into MMOs. I don't know if you guys know my history in MMOs because they're not really a Nintendo thing or not even so much a home console thing, although Destiny and other games obviously come out to try to say they're not MMOs, but they're really MMOs. But like Star Wars The Old Republic, played the hell out of that. I've been literally a World of Warcraft player since the game came out in 2004. I don't keep my subscription active all the time, but there's probably at least 2-3 months a year that I'm still playing World of Warcraft. Just generally enjoy that game. And a whole bunch of other ones, the EverQuest back in the day. I'm really racking my brain. There was, what's that free-to-play one? There's that free-to-play one that I played a lot of too. A couple free-to-play ones, actually. I played Warhammer Online when that came out. So like I'm just big into MMOs. So like a Zelda MMO would be great. And Unreal Engine 5, I mean, that'd be sweet. Obviously, Unreal Engine 5 is coming to Nintendo Switch. It won't be as impressive as it is on other platforms, of course. Probably not going to see the Lumen Light engine and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd like to see it happen. Nintendo is dabbling in Unreal Engine, by the way. Yoshi's Crafted World, believe it or not, was made in Unreal Engine 4. So Nintendo is dabbling in Unreal Engine being a primary engine they use. So we'll see. Afrochamp asked, the people who rumored Paper Mario earlier this year also had a rumor about a new 2D Metroid game going around. Seeing as the Paper Mario rumor was true, do you think the rumor holds any truth to it? It's always possible. Especially with Metroid Prime 4 being pushed back and because they kind of restarted development with a new development studio, which is actually the original development studio, Metroid Prime. I do think that they might have pushed forward a 2D Metroid to kind of fill the gap, especially if it's going to release on Switch, of course, because the last time we got 2D Metroid was Samus Returns, kind of that remake, remastering. And they put that on 3DS at like the end of the 3DS's life. I think that game would have been better served coming out on Switch. I think any game Nintendo makes, there's no point to put it on any other platform but Switch. So yes, I think that does lend a little credence to it. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But obviously Paper Mario, the Origami King is a thing. So everything that came out from that original rumor batch, which includes the Mario remasters and all that, Super Mario 3D World Deluxe, suddenly that stuff all looks super legit. Plus places like VentureBeat are really pushing that those 3D remasters and that Pikmin game is happening. So back Foboya says, how much do you think the current work-at-home situation will affect Nintendo's output this year, possibly leading into next year? I think it's going to affect everyone's output for a couple of years. I think a lot of things planned for this year might be pushed to next year, which obviously pushes for projects even further. Obviously, we have next-gen consoles coming out. I think a lot of things, Phil Spencer came out and said 2021 is actually looking like more of an issue for Microsoft right now than this year, because a lot of the projects they had coming this year have most of the work they needed done in studio already done, whether it's motion capture or whatever, orchestrations, etc. A lot of that stuff they already had done for the games they have planned this year, but it's for games that are coming next year where it's like, oh, we don't have all this stuff done that absolutely needs a studio situation, so we are in trouble. So I do think that is a situation that's going to affect Nintendo as well, even if I don't think they do as much motion capture as other studios do, because of the kind of games they make. I think it's going to impact things. It's going to impact things in many ways. Obviously, we've seen no Nintendo Directs really because of it. We had the Mini, which was a half-hour-long Mini, which is very unusual for a Nintendo Direct Mini. But you didn't see a lot of big Nintendo games in that Mini because the big Nintendo games are kind of being pushed back right now. I think Paper Mario was probably already done last year. Was just a planned release for this year. They wanted to get Animal Crossing out of the way and then drop Paper Mario in the summer. Makes a lot of sense. Just like Super Mario Odyssey was done like a year before it came out. So I think that there's going to be still some games coming on the pipeline, but I think as an example, what we need to really worry about is whatever game they planned for the holidays, whether it was Breath of the Wild 2, I'm really hoping it's not just Mario remasters and Pikmin the rest of the year, but that might be what it is. And then we're going to see a more similar situation to, say, 2018, except 2018 ended with Smash. So you have to wonder, is there still that big game they're going to end the year with, especially with next-gen consoles coming out? And I don't know. That's where I think we need to worry about the biggest delay. I don't think we're going to get much more from Nintendo the rest of the year but the remasters and the ports. But you never know. I'm hoping they have at least one big game up their sleeves they either haven't revealed or they have revealed and it's just surprisingly coming this year, like a Breath of the Wild 2. Because, again, that was revealed at E3 of last year. So you never know. And it shouldn't take them as long to make it because it definitely looks like it's using the same engine, even if there's been improvements made to it. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I think they're going to see game delays. I think we're going to be pretty sparse this year. I think next year will be a little bit better for Nintendo. I don't think full bounce back for the whole gaming industry comes till 2022. So that's just my take. All right, next question. We had a couple here on Facebook. This first one is from Jerminder Gill. Wants to know my favorite game series, and what franchise do you think should end? That last question is interesting. So my favorite game is Breath of the Wild. Used to be Secret of Mana until Breath of the Wild came out. So it wasn't always a Zelda game because my favorite game series is the Zelda series. But Zelda game was not always at the top. It was Secret of Mana most of my life. But now that's my second favorite. Breath of the Wild jumped to the top. And what franchise do I think should end? There's a lot of IPs out there that feel like they should be ended, maybe some of them mercifully. But if I name any specific franchise, people are just gonna get like really upset. So I don't know if I want to name a specific IP that should end. I'm trying to think of one that's maybe gone down the route of being kind of bad. I guess maybe Dungeon Keeper. If that mobile game they released is like the new direction for the series, I would kind of like to just be done with it. But there really isn't a lot of series that I have played that I enjoy that I want to end. When I think about series that I don't enjoy, they just happen to be games I'm not that into. You could talk about how I don't play a lot of Call of Duty games, but I do enjoy one once every few years. So it's like, do I really want that to go away and not be an option? No, not really. Do I think Halo should end? No. So like, I don't really have any specific series that, just because they're not my cup of tea that I want to end. So sorry, I'm sure you're hoping for a more controversial answer, but I don't really have one for you. Chris Palmer said, got my question right here. Based on the fact that some of Nintendo's first-party development is taking place in the U.S., more than Japan, Retro Studios in Texas working on Metroid Prime 4, while most of it is taking place in Japan, do you think there's any first-party Nintendo game being developed that is still on schedule or ahead of schedule at the moment, aside from Paper Mario the Origami King? I think all the remasters and remakes are on schedule, but in terms of first-party offerings or second-party offerings, I think a lot of them are delayed and pushed back. I think they're all impacted. Does that mean that, a game coming out this summer couldn't be a major hit this holiday? No, but I do think whatever game they were originally planning for this holiday is likely pushed back to 2021. So I do think everything has seen some delays because work from home does affect work. Even if there's a lot of things you can still do from home, you're just a lot more productive when you can collect the team together. Plus, there's certain things you just can't do from home. You can't record an orchestrated soundtrack at home. You just can't do it. You can't do motion capture at home. Those are two really big things that are part of this industry you can't do at home. For a lot of Nintendo's games, that stuff might not matter. But, It could matter for something like Metroid Prime. It could matter for Breath of the Wild, etc., etc., etc. Even voice work, you're going to want to be in a studio for voice work. So say like Breath of the Wild 2, they use voice actors. And you're going to want studio quality voice acting for that. You're not going to want someone at home with a setup like mine, which is a really nice setup, doing voice work for a AAA game. Like, that's just not what you're going to want. You're going to want to get them in a professional studio setting with the best possible mixing and all that, versus an at-home setup, which, while can be really, really good and really good, maybe even good enough for, say, independent games, not something that, you're not going to get Breath of the Wild 2 at-home voice recording. You're going to want to do that in a studio. So there are some things that will be delayed. I think almost everything big from Nintendo is going to get delayed. All right, moving on to the YouTube questions. Looks like we got 10 here. Chubb Barrios says, do you have any issues with the official Zelda timeline? And if you do, how so? My only issue with the official Zelda timeline is that third split from Ocarina of Time. It was their cheap way out of trying to connect all the games together, because as time went on, they started not to make a lot of sense, especially the older games. So they made it make sense by saying, here's the timeline where Link dies, basically. And the thing is, the original split made sense because there's actual time travel. So because there's time travel in Ocarina of Time, you could create a split. Because there's time travel in Majora's Mask, you could have created another split off of Majora's Mask if you wanted. But creating a third split off of Ocarina of Time, where it's just Link fails and he dies, it's kind of like, okay, so we had this split where Link fails and Link dies. That could happen from any game. That brings the multiverse into this. This brings like all the alternate endings and everything that could possibly happen in Zelda, because Link can fail in every adventure. He could die in every adventure. So now they just open Pandora's box to be able to split the timeline off any game they want to split it off. Now, granted, I think they've maybe solved this issue with Breath of the Wild. I think they're using Breath of the Wild as like a timeline reset, where it happens so far in the future, references all three timelines, that it kind of resets things. But I hate that third split. It's just such a cop-out. I think there's a way they could have fit it together with just the split timeline, but they had to go with the three-way split and created a split that makes it possible to split off of any game. And I don't like that. I think that just overly complicates something that doesn't need to be so complicated. Joy-Con Nation, not a question, but just imagine how Breath of the Wild 2 would look if running in Unreal Engine 5 and on Xbox Series X. Yeah, I mean, obviously, any Nintendo game you could argue would look just that much better on powerful hardware. I mean, that even on a PlayStation 4 or whatever. Like, everything could look better. But hey, you want to play Nintendo, you got to buy Nintendo stuff. So it is what it is. I mean, I think Nintendo will use Unreal Engine 5 eventually, but the physics engine, I mean, they're using a custom engine for Zelda, so I don't know that it would be better in Unreal Engine 5, but it certainly would look pretty. Sure. It'd be cool to see all those little falling bits of rock off the side of the cliffs, I guess. It'd be kind of neat. The lighting would be cool, but I don't have too many complaints about Breath of the Wild as it is. So, Dylan Tudor says, how do you think Nintendo will revitalize the Star Fox series? Will they continue from Star Fox Zero, or will they reboot again? Well, Star Fox Zero, I think, will get ported eventually as like a late port to the system. Kind of like, not necessarily a port, but, remember Paper Mario Color Splash? That was like the last release on Wii U. I think you're going to see Star Fox Zero be like that last port from Wii U to Switch. But will they continue from Star Fox Zero? I don't know. I think they're going to put Star Fox on the back burner for a while. I don't think we're going to see a new Star Fox game for like a decade. I hate saying that, but I think that's the reality of the situation. And when they bring it back, maybe they bring it back by completely remaking Star Fox 64 or the one from SNES. I have no idea. But I do think that they're going to wait a long time and then kind of reboot things a little bit, which frustrates Star Fox fans because it feels like we just get reboots and we don't just get like proper sequels, but it is what it is. Seahawks24 rule says, what do you project Nintendo's lineup will be for the rest of the year? Do you think Nintendo will get caught up with Switch stock this calendar year? I think Nintendo will get caught up for a brief bit this summer and then fall back behind, because now the country's making the motherboards and the components for the motherboards are now in lockdown and the factories are shut down. So I think they have some stockpile of those motherboards that they could make more Switches to catch up during the summer, and then they're going to struggle during the holiday period. So I guess the answer is kind of, but not really. It's going to be pretty hard to get a Switch all year. What do I project the lineup to be? From Nintendo themselves, it's going to be a lot of ports and a lot of remasters. That's their big crux of the rest of the lineup beyond Paper Mario. I think third parties are a little different. We actually have quite a strong third-party lineup coming. Remember, we still have Doom Eternal coming. We have the Outer Worlds coming. There's a lot of big third-party games actually still coming to Switch, even if they've already released on other platforms. So I think that's what people are going to be filling their time with, are those indies, those third parties, and the ports and remasters. And I think most people are going to be accepting of that, because when have we ever had a worldwide pandemic before, like in our lifetimes? So it's one of those situations where I think most people are going to be kind of forgiving. And Animal Crossing who knows, maybe Animal Crossing is so big it just carries them all year. Like, is Animal Crossing going to sell like 30 million? Like, I don't even know. It's doing crazy Wii Sports kind of numbers right now. I don't. Wow. Okay. Jin Churky89 says, with the year of Mario rumors being this year, do you expect to get the same the same thing Nintendo will do for other IP? I hope that we start seeing remasters of all the old games of other IP. Obviously, Zelda they've been doing slowly over the years. But yeah, I'd like to see them do that. There's a lot of franchises out there that deserve some remaster work. And can we say hello, Metroid Prime Trilogy in HD? I know we assume it's a thing already, but it's not here yet, so yes, please. Let's do more of it. Do the year of Metroid. The year of Metroid Prime 4 comes out. That'd be great. Release the 2D Metroid and then do Metroid Prime 4 and put that trilogy out. Oh man, that would be a beautiful year of Metroid. Nintendo 64 is King says, what is your favorite moment from the Metroid franchise? Speaking of Metroid, hope all is well with you. I guess, I founded MetroidWiki.org, so I used to be a lot more knowledgeable on the Metroid series than I am now. I forgot a lot of my prior Metroid stuff. For those that know what happened to me, you'll know why. But I will say one moment that's always stuck with me is the very first time I booted up Metroid Prime on GameCube. And I walked into this just what felt like this massive world at the time for a Metroid game, because at the time we're so used to the side-scrolling, really confined areas, and while there's confined areas in there's just something about turning it on, walking out as Samus Aran in this 3D environment and a first-person perspective that just it made my jaw drop. It made me go, wow. This was Metroid's transition into 3D. Just like, Mario 64, just like Ocarina of Time. Like, this was the big game, the transition, Metroid into a 3D perspective. And it blew my mind, to be frank. And I'm always going to remember that moment. It's going to stick with me forever with the Metroid franchise, because not only did it, blow my mind, the game itself ended up being arguably the best Metroid game there ever was. So there's that too. Let's see here. Michael Andres says, why did Nintendo abandon the F-Zero series? It kind of got buried. They didn't just abandon that. Diddy Kong Racing went away. Wave Race went away. It kind of was in the same time period where Nintendo was looking at their racing games, because they had like 3 or 4 franchises of racing games back then. And they realized Mario Kart destroys all of them. And any idea we have for these other games, we could just put in Mario Kart and make Mario Kart sell even more. So they kind of decided to put all their eggs in one basket. And with the sales of the Mario Kart series over the years, I think we can understand that they actually made a really smart business decision. As much as it sucks for us that are F-Zero fans or Diddy Kong Racing, Wave Race fans, it kind of just went to this point where any idea they have for racing kind of just works in Mario Kart. So, some people have been hoping for a while it turns into Nintendo Kart as they started to add all these non-Mario characters into it, and maybe that'll happen someday. But yeah, I think the big reason is just sales. It wasn't selling as well as Mario Kart. Wasn't even close. None of them were. We saw dwindling sales in the F-Zero, Wave Race series, etc. over the years, and the only series that kept growing was Mario Kart. So they just said, screw it, we're just going to put everything in the Mario Kart. AR Mondo says, mine would kind of go into the debate realm. This is a really long one. But I'm quite interested in what you think. So why not make it? So this might not make it, but I'll ask anyways. Well, it made it. I have always said and still support the idea of Breath of the Wild 2 was always intended as a 2021 release. My reasoning is that marketing-wise, we've only got the one E3 reveal trailer last year, and that's it. Not gameplay footage, no new mechanics, not even the name. Now, I know that there's been a couple of interviews talking about things like how they've been in development since 2017 and a couple of other tidbits. But aside from that, we have no additional info about the game. No official trailer or announcement. I've had other people argue that the game doesn't need to be heavily marketed because it's Zelda and everybody knows Breath of the Wild and would know that this is the sequel to that. And that is exactly the problem I have with that argument. this is the sequel of what is arguably considered the Zelda game, the biggest in the franchise. It's by far none the biggest in the franchise, more than double the sales of the next best-selling Zelda game. To not market the sequel, at least to the same extent as the previous one, would not make business sense. To set an example for that, I would compare this situation to the Avengers movies. I know, different mediums, different situations. Infinity War was huge for Marvel, being either their biggest or at least one of their biggest movies of the franchise. And immediately after it came out and made the big butts, they started pushing Endgame and hard, arguably even harder than they did for Infinity War. And then as a result, in good amount of thanks to the marketing, Endgame is now the highest grossing film ever. This logic also applies to Breath of the Wild, as it is the biggest game of one of the most recognizable video game franchises out there, so they need to heavily market its sequel. Especially because they not only want the gamers to buy the game, but they also want the average customer. Nintendo has always aimed for a more general audience rather than just the hardcore, so they need this hype train and need to get it going for a healthy amount of time. So with this lengthy exposition done, my question is, leaving the virus thing out of the question, do you think that the game can still come out this year? If so, what are the reasons that you think that might be a thing? Also, were it to come next year, do you think it will come first half of 2021 or second half? Legit curious about your opinion on this, my man. Keep up the good work. So, my thoughts are, yes, it could still come this year. They would have to drop something for it during the summer. But if you remember how Breath of the Wild worked, and that's how they're going to look at it for this cycle, they did the reveal, and then it just kind of vanished. You know, they did the reveal, then they did the Game Awards presentation for it, and then it just kind of vanished until they brought it back a couple years later and said it's going to be going to the next-gen platform in 2016. They brought it to E3 on Wii U, all that stuff. And then from 2016, literally until the game launched, they just kept blowing us out with info for like 6-7 months, right? They just kept just flooding us with info. And I think that's the way you have to look at it for here is they looked at that and saw how much that blew up. So they probably look at it as, why don't we do the same thing here? We drop the tease, and then more than a year later or so, we drop, this is when it's coming. This is the first gameplay reveal. And then we're just going to slam you with information all the way up to release 4, 5, 6, 7 months. So yes, it very much could still come this year and be their big holiday hit. Is it more likely to come in 2021? Yeah, right now, especially because of the virus. But I don't think marketing lead-up time is the reason. I understand you wanting them to heavily market it, but video games are a very different medium than it comes to movies. Because movies, you know, they come out every year or every other year when it comes to, like, the Avengers movies. And you know, they kind of have this big lead up because they leave you with a cliffhanger, right? And granted, there is the true ending of Breath of the Wild, which is a little bit of a cliffhanger, not much of one, but a tiny little bit of a cliffhanger to let you know there's more. And no one ever knew if we would see what more is, because that happens. You know, at the end of the Wind Waker, they teased something was more, and then we didn't really know what more was until Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. So I think that it very much could still come this year. But it's probably coming next year, and they don't need a lot of marketing lead up like they do for movies, because what gets frustrating about video games is being teased about it all the time and then waiting 2-3 years to get it. If you're constantly being teased about the game nonstop like they did for Breath of the Wild from E3 2016 and on, what ends up happening is people kind of get fatigued, and you end up knowing everything about the game before it even comes out. And I don't think that's a great marketing strategy for Nintendo. I think waiting till they're closer to release, have a release date, and then market the hell out of it for 3, 4, 5 months is the best way to go about it, as proven by the sales of Breath of the Wild. So I think Nintendo knows what they're doing. They learned a lot from Breath of the Wild. They're not going to be like the movie industry where, like, as soon as, like, episodes 8 of Star Wars ended, you already knew episode 9 was coming, so you could already start getting hyped for it. This is one of those situations where we didn't know we were going to get a Breath of the Wild 2. Now we know we are going to get one, and so now it's like, okay, just wait until they're ready, because it's better to start teasing and showing off as much about the game when they're ready, because then they could really blow it out, versus just dropping little hints and little teases here, which, by the way, they've done that in the past for other Zelda games, and it didn't translate to Breath of the Wild sales. They're going to look at what they did with Breath of the Wild and be like, let's do it again. So look at how they marketed Breath of the Wild, and that's how they're going to market Breath of the Wild 2. Could be this year still, probably 2021 though. Mitchell Claiborne says, in approximately how many days will you say it'll be till you're at 100,000 subscribers? Good to see Prime Answers is back to a weekly show. Well, I responded to you and told you that let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm not even doing this in our Prime Answers format. But yeah, we're not back to a weekly show. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a weekly live Q&A like this. I'm not sure yet, but definitely not back to a live show. As for how long to get to 100,000 subscribers, how about never? Does never sound about right? The channel is I'm happy with the channel the way it is. we're not really growing. We're not really shrinking. We're kind of just staying where we're at. We're kind of, I guess you could say that's stagnating. Maybe we've peaked. Maybe that's a better way to look at it. Maybe this channel, Nintendo Prime, has peaked, and that's okay. I get plenty of views, plenty of everything, the way things are. So I'll have one video, only get 500 views. I'll have the next video, get 2,000 views. Like, yesterday I had a video do like 700, and then the next one did 2,000. Like, it's going to happen. Some videos will blow up to 10,000. Some are only going to get a few hundred. Like, I'm okay with the way the channel is. The fact that any more than one person wants to watch is good. I mean, I always have like this internal goal, like I want to hit 50,000 subscribers this year, but I don't know if I'm going to get there. And this seems crazy because I was growing by like 10 to 15,000 subscribers in prior years, but last year was a really rough year for the channel and for me as a person, personally and health-wise and everything, and it really affected things, and I made a lot of mistakes, and it kind of killed the momentum of the channel. We've gotten a little bit of momentum back with some of the giveaways I've done this year, but we're not really all the way back, and I don't know that we ever will be all the way back. I mean, the other day, I'm just maybe I could show you guys this if it'll let me. Well, it'll let me show it. Just I had to see where the stats show up here. All right, so I'll show you guys this. So like we're at 45,242 subs. You guys can't see that number anymore, but I can. We did dip below 45,000 briefly about 2 months ago. So you could say in 2 months we've gained, about 240, 250-ish subscribers. But see, like literally, 3 days ago we were at 280, subscribers. And then I put up a video, and every time I put up a video, I lose subs. I gain subs on days I don't post. I lose subs on days that I do. It's kind of weird. So subscriber-wise, it's not really going anywhere. It says, I'm only technically plus 18 in the last 28 days. So if I hit 50,000 this year, that'd be swell. I right now don't even know if I'm going to hit 46,000 this year. As for 100,000, I literally don't think it's ever going to happen. I would love to believe it's going to happen, but my days of trying to treat this as a full-time job, trying to treat this as like my future, are kind of in the past, and so is the days of even dreaming of 100,000 subs. Viewership right now is down 9% over the last 28 days. Watch time's down, revenue's down. I mean, look at that. Only $98 in the last month. Like, that's nothing. This is a channel that was pushing $700 to $1,000 a month on ad revenue, and now, not even $100. So yeah, it's in a situation now where things are what they are. Even though, see, look, latest video doing well, 2K views, 11.9% impression click-through rate. Viewer duration's down, but to be expected because I think the news cut off around that, and then it was all speculative stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I'm cool with the way things are. I don't expect to grow anymore. If I do, cool. If I don't, I don't. I'm still going to do giveaways and all that as long as the channel can afford to pay for them. So, yeah, that's what I got for you guys. All right, let's get to the live stream. Let's see here. We have a lot of people here. So let's get to the first question that came from Thark in the stream a while back. So my question, save it for after the pre-asked questions. What do you think about the remake rumors, Metroid Prime Trilogy 3? I kind of answered that, I think. They're happening. They're coming. Let's see here. Scrolling on down. Seahawks says, great to see you up this early. Well, I mean, I'm up earlier than this. I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. So I have kids. Welcome to having kids. Let's see here. There were 20 N64 games coming to Switch. Which one would it be? If there were 20. Jeez, I'm just going to end up picking the 20 games I want. Off the top of my head, obviously the original version of Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Those are just gimmies to me at this point. God, I'm really racking my brain for N64 game. 1 second. Shouldn't be. This is my childhood, man. Oh, yeah. So, obviously, I'd love to see GoldenEye. Not going to happen, but I'd love to see it. The original Smash. The original Paper Mario. The original Animal Crossing. Obviously, Conker's Bad Fur Day. That's just a give me. I'd like to see Diddy Kong Racing come back. Donkey Kong 64. That's 10. Let's see. Let's go with Kirby, Star Fox 64, Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, obviously. Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, I'd like to see. So that gets us to 16. Let's go with, man, I'm just going through this list of games here, which ones that I would want to see, because we're at, 16? Pokemon Snap, gotta get that gets us to 8. Star Wars Rogue Squadron, let's go, or it gets us 7. I guess that gets us to 8. Let's see here. There's a lot of great games on the N64. I'd like to see 1080 snowboarding come back, so that gets us to 9. And then, what should I pick for the last one? I know whatever games I leave off, people are gonna flip out about. Let's go. Why not give us like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, 2, or 3? Because like we're not getting the remasters, so why don't we just get one of those games? I played them back in the day too, even though I'm not into those kind of games. Whatever. Like, who didn't play Tony Hawk Pro Skater back then? So yeah, that's what I got for you. By the way, ping me in the chat if you guys got a question. Corey Bohm says Ninjala Game of the Year. I don't know yet. I got to play more of it. Maybe. Paper Mario should be killed swiftly and without second thought. Colorless. Jeez. Will Ubisoft do Mario plus Rabbids 2? I hope so. Let's see here. Skull Race Case, a question. What do you think is going on with the Nintendo Online and themes? Nothing. I don't think Nintendo's doing anything. There's my thoughts on that. What do you expect Nintendo Switch 2? Will they stick with NVIDIA or go with AMD, Samsung, SoC, or a custom one? I think they're probably more likely to stick with NVIDIA just because of the length of the contract, but who knows? Let's see here. Thark says, Zelda Dungeon Maker from Link's Awakening. Would you want that fleshed out into a full standalone game? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes. I've been thinking that ever since they released Mario Maker. So yes. I think what they did in Link's Awakening was more of a tease of a concept, and now it just needs to become a full game. Let's see here. Wind Waker HD Deluxe, Twilight Princess HD Deluxe, Skyward Sword Deluxe. What are they going to deluxe version out of, like, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess? It's literally just going to be straight up ports. So it could just be the Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword HD collection. That's what I would call it anyways. And Skyward Sword would be the first time in HD officially. So, let's see. Mark Greenberg says, how do you feel about the Green Bay Packers first round draft pick? This is an AMA, guys. So you guys can ask any question you want. You want to ask me about the Green Bay Packers draft pick, feel free. Personally, I feel like I'm okay with the pick, but I hope they don't force Aaron Rodgers out after everything he's done for them. I don't mind the pick. The footage I've seen of Jordan Love looks fine. He threw a lot of picks his final year in college, but he also had a whole brand new offense, like literally all brand new players plus a new coach. So that changes some things, and he was trying to fit things into some really tight windows. And he's like one of those quarterbacks that's rare that when he gets to the NFL, he's actually going to see bigger windows to throw in than he did in college. That being said, I don't really give two flying craps about Aaron Rodgers. Maybe that's blasphemy as a Packers fan. He hasn't been good since 2016. He doesn't like to throw checkdowns. He doesn't like playing within the rhythm of the offense, and he doesn't throw to the open receiver. He plays favorites. Devontae Adams gets all the targets because that's the only guy Aaron Rodgers trusts. And that's stupid because the scheme of the offense is he's double-teamed, throw it to somebody else, and he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it a lot, and that is why he is ranked in the middle of the pack or worse for quarterbacks in the NFL the last 4 seasons. In terms of everything he's done for them, I mean, he's a player who did his job, and he did it very, very well for about a 5-year period, and now he's not doing it so well. So I am totally cool if the Packers move on from him because you don't owe anyone anything. Your goal is to win Super Bowls. Your goal isn't to play favorites with people. I think Aaron Rodgers is great and has all the ability in the world to be a top 5 quarterback still, but I don't think he can get out of his own head. I don't think he's very good at pre-snap reads, and he definitely hates playing within the system. He wants to scramble and throw down the field. And that's just not the scheme the Packers play anymore. So he's got to conform or he's got to go. That's what I view the pick as. Rodgers conforms and gets better, or he doesn't, and he's out of here. Last year he wasn't good enough. He just wasn't. He had 2 good games all year. Both the games happened when Devontae Adams was injured, and he played within the system and started throwing to his tight ends and running backs more. Devontae Adams comes back, he stops throwing to his tight ends and running backs. He's just he's playing a lot like rookie Aaron Rodgers than he is what he was in his prime. So, yeah, he's had a stiff fall off for 4 years. You don't owe anyone anything when it comes to the NFL. He's getting paid a crap load of money and not performing to it. What else do the Packers owe him? They paid him. He's paid to do a job. Doesn't matter who's around him. Do your job. Let's see. Corbin goes tequila. I tell you what. If we somehow get like $100 in like super chats or donations, or if someone drops the hundo, I will go get the hard stuff out and do a couple hard shots for you guys. But I'm not going crazy right now. It's daytime. Okay, it's daytime. Let's chill a little bit. But I'd be willing to do that if we got some pretty crazy donations. If people really wanted to see me do a couple shots, I got some stuff hidden in a cooler in my garage that I can go grab. Let me see. Seahawks 24 rules says, I hope the channel begins to grow again. You put a ton into the channel, and I make good content. I try. I know that I don't always make the best content, but I try. I'm hoping the audio is better now. Like the audio in the last few videos, I hope it's better. I don't know if it's the mixer or if it's that mic. So that mic I used for Prime News on Saturday, which is the mic I typically use. It's just another one of these. There was a buzzing. Now you guys didn't hear the buzzing because I edited the buzzing out. But how to edit the buzzing out affects the overall quality of the audio. Before that, when I was recording directly into the camera, there was also some audio issues there as well. So it's like one of those things where the best quality audio I can get is recording, right here at this desk into this mic into Audacity. That gives me excellent clarity. And I think I'm going to have to do that for all future videos if I really want to increase that audio quality. Now, that does mean it creates some audio syncing issues because the rate at which the video runs does not always match the bit rate of Audacity. And if I match up the bit rates, it actually lowers the quality of the audio. So I don't want to do that. So it leads to syncing issues, and then I got to resync audio. It's kind of just a pain in the butt. I think eventually I want to get, like a wireless lav mic pack. That can kind of go to the camera and go to here, and I can have both audio sources be the same audio source, and then it's easier to sync things up. But yeah, I think I have to go back to recording my audio separately in Audacity. Pain in the butt, but it's cool. But yeah, the channel is probably done growing at this point. I hope to be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the channel's about to blow up. I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure it's done growing, and I'm done worrying about if it grows or not. Maybe I could collaborate with other channels. That's always a nice thought. I did do that debate with Player Essence, like a week or two ago. So like it happens still, but like a lot of the channels that this is just kind of an unfortunate thing is a lot of the channels that I used to collaborate with have really exploded in popularity and growth. Well, I didn't. Plus, I had some of the controversies of the past, and a lot of those channels don't really want to work with me anymore. Like, I can get a hold of Bob Wolf, but he doesn't really want to make a video with me, if that makes sense. I can get a hold of, a lot of people, and they just don't really want to make videos with me. I can still talk, I just talked to John from Spawnwave, just like a couple months ago. I don't see me appearing on Spawncast anytime soon. Like, it's kind of at that point where I think people have sort of distanced from me. Player Essence hasn't, but he doesn't really care. He's not going to distance from anyone. He'll talk to anyone. But not everyone's like that. So reality is it's a lot harder, not just to get guests for the podcast, but to do any sort of collaboration for me right now with anyone of note that could help my channel grow. So yeah, I can still collaborate with YouTubers, but they're going to be much smaller. But it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. I hope to get Super Metal Dave in on a video. He's still willing to work with me. Maybe someone from Nintendo Cade on a video with me too. But again, these are smaller YouTubers that aren't really going to help my channel grow that much. But that's all right. It's cool. It's not about growth anymore. It's about doing it for the fun and doing it for the passion. So I'm good with that. I think that to me, is when my channel was at its best, is when I was less worried about the growth, although I enjoyed it, and more worried about just making fun content that I want to make. And I feel like I'm doing that now, regardless of how much money is being made, which right now is not much. What I just made in this stream from that super chat is the most a single video has made for me in over 2 months. So yeah, that's $6.50 USD in revenue. Most I made on a video in 2 months. Just the way it is right now in the world. Let's see here. Going on down. You want Shadow Man. There was God, I'm thinking of a game that started with Shadow on N64 I played a lot of. It was a RPG. But now I can't remember the name of it. Oh, it makes me mad. I played a ton of it back in my parents' basement when I was a kid. Let's see here. Michael Ender says, have I ever played Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition? I have not played the Definitive Edition. I did play Hyrule Warriors on Wii U and on 3DS. So because I already had all the content, I did not play Definitive Edition. I did play Fire Emblem Warriors, but not Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. Will I own it someday? Probably. I'll probably eventually pick it up just to put it in my collection of Zelda games. But like I already played and beat it on the other platforms and got all the content. So, Aaron Rodgers' best years were with the Vikings. And it could be coming up. Is Diablo 4 coming to Switch? I have no idea. I hope so, but I have no idea. We got Diablo 3, so there's always hope. Don't give up, Nate. Channel can still grow. That's not giving up. I think people view things in interesting ways about giving up and what giving up looks like. See, giving up would be I just stop doing YouTube because I just don't care. I care about growing the channel, obviously. I'm making the least amount of money I've probably made on this channel since it started, and yet I'm doing giveaways of $50, $60 games every month. And when you do that, it leads to me basically not making much money. Like I still make a decent chunk on Patreon. I think $130, $140 or whatever it is. But it's not much compared to what it used to be. I mean, that Patreon at its peak was over $500 a month. But again, I'm also not delivering on the Patreon promise, with a $100 promise of a podcast every week. So like, honestly, everyone should be dropping their support on Patreon. The fact that I still have like 30 something patrons is kind of interesting to me, that they're sticking by me through these rough times. Cause the podcast has been consistent for almost a year at this point. And that's why I'm refusing to just make a random episode when I have time. I want to actually make sure when I come back, it's back for good every week. No issue. Even if Eric can't make it, even if Darren can't make it, even if 5J can't make it, that I'm going to produce a podcast every single week when I come back doing that. So like, and I owe an apology to our patrons for taking so long on that. But that's a large reason the Patreon fell off. When I was making consistent episodes, it was over $300 at that point, and then ever since then, obviously, it's been dropping off, and it'll eventually hit zero if I never bring it back. So, yeah, money's not doing that great at the channel, and that's okay. Growth is still something I care about. The giveaways help with the growth, but it is what it is. I'm cool. Aren't you guys cool? Like, isn't everyone just cool with like, hey, look, Nate's just back making videos. Can we just be happy about that? Got one on Saturday, did 2 yesterday. I have this live stream today. Probably won't have anything else today, but I think things are going good, personally. Thank you so much, Corey Bone, by the way, for your $2 Canadian Super Chat. Just got it up to $8 USD. Woohoo! Highest revenue video in 2 months. There was that one live stream where you guys went kind of nuts and got me a little wasted. Like, was that 2 months ago, though? Man, it's been a long time. Might have been 2 months ago now. Slane says, Nate, you still playing Animal Crossing? Will there be a land tour or playing with the chat? So I do owe at least probably one stream where I play with the patrons and stuff. But beyond that, I don't really play a lot of Animal Crossing anymore. I chime into it maybe once a week. I haven't even got terraforming yet. Although KK Slider was supposed to come the other day, or maybe he already came. I have no idea. I haven't been on Animal Crossing since I completed getting my island beautiful enough to have him come. I should say, since my lady completed getting the island beautiful enough for KK Slider to come. So I'm kind of done with Animal Crossing for now. This one took me longer to fade out of compared to other Animal Crossings. Probably just due to the progression system. But now, I'm good. I've had my fill of doing like the same thing every day. I'm good. Let's see here. But yeah, as I said, I probably owe at least one live stream where I let the patrons and members come in. By the way, if you want to become a member of the channel and get your name in that latest family member section on the top right, all you have to do is hit the join button. I think it's $5 a month. I don't think I have multiple tiers yet. I'm going to eventually introduce multiple tiers that are going to mimic what Patreon is, so you guys can either join Patreon or join here. I make more money if you join Patreon, but it is what it is. I'm fine if everything's centralized on YouTube. The 8th arc hits me with another $10 Australian. Got to make it $10 in your green paper money for this video. That's right. We're actually up to $14 USD for that green paper for this video. Which now that I'm no longer, I don't have this is actually curious. I also wonder if like the revenue drop, in addition to me not making as much content, and CPM just being in the trash right now. I wonder if I would have stayed with my MCN, because once I left my MCN, my revenue went like this. So I'm actually curious if the MCN actually was helping me a lot in revenue and I never realized it, because I haven't had a good month of revenue since I left them. But I don't know. There's a lot of things that happen that correlate with it that I haven't had a really great month in terms of viewership since then either. So were they helping with views too? I have no idea. So yeah, got to make the green paper money for this video. Thanks. You guys got any other questions? Anything else you guys want to talk about? The floor is yours. I'm caught up with the live chat, so the floor is absolutely your guys's to do whatever and wherever you guys want to talk about. This is an AMA. You can ask me anything about my life. You can ask me about video games, about the channel. Ask whatever you want. You know, there might be questions that I refuse to answer, but the floor is your guys's. So, waiting for you guys to have some questions for me. Probably go at it for another half hour or so here. We'll see. What can I talk about until that happens? Maybe I'll glance at the old news wire quick and just see what's going on with the news. Minecraft topped 200 million in sales with 126 million active players. That's a lot of players. Dark Souls series has topped 27 million copies sold worldwide. Obviously, that makes people want to hope that they bring the trilogy to Switch, but, you know. Let's see here. Someone bought a Duke Nukem prototype for Nintendo DS on eBay that no one even knew existed, so that's kind of cool. Do you drink coffee? No. I am not a coffee drinker. I do not like coffee. Never like coffee. Unfortunately, that leads me to getting my caffeine in other ways that I shouldn't, whether it's soda or energy drinks or something stupid like that. Or, this is not a paid advertisement, I use this expired Respawn in some water. Respawn. Designed by gamers, for gamers. Originally it was an April Fool's joke some years ago, and then they made an actual drink mix out of it. I got pomegranate, watermelon flavor, blue raspberry, tropical pineapple, green apple. And the ingredients aren't that great. We got maltodextrin, citric acid, you know, because we all need that citric acid in our life, malic acid, gum arabic, green tea extract, which isn't that bad, sugar, of course, sucralose, L-theanine, chlorine bitters, caffeine, natural and artificial flavor, sunflower oil, ground ginger, modified cornstarch, corn syrup, solids, niacinamide, decalcium, panthenate, silicon dioxide, blue number 1, red number 40, yellow number 5, predoxine, hydrochloride, salt, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. There's 95 milligrams of caffeine. Do not have more than 3 packs a day. 20 calories per pack. So it adds 20 calories to the water plus all those ingredients, which obviously those aren't the best way. And am I drinking it expired? Gosh darn right I am. When was the... I don't know if it says it on the outside or if it says it on the inside. Pour, shake, drink, game on. But yeah, it tastes the exact same as it did a year ago. A lot of the expiration dates on like mixes, powdered mixes especially, you can usually go way past the expiration date on powdered mixes and still have them. So I'm not worried about it being expired. But anyways, Yeah, I still drink it. I had a lot more of them. I had probably twice the amount of those boxes back there. So I'm slowly switching off of soda and stuff like that into, if I need caffeine, I'll do, a full glass of water and then mix one of these in. And then if I don't, I'll just drink water. I'm trying to fully switch to that. And eventually, I'll probably slowly cut back on the caffeine in general. But that's going to happen as I lose more weight and get more natural energy from my body. I'm getting there. Let's see here. The artisan says, Nintendo still have many heavy hitters up their sleeve. Bayonetta 3, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Prime 4, Breath of the Wild 2. We're talking Bomb after Bomb after Bomb, and now a new Paper Mario. All right. It's weird reading that list of games because there's only one heavy hitter in that whole list, and that's Breath of the Wild 2. Bayo 3 has never sold more than 2 million copies on a single platform. Shin Megami Tensei, like the Bayonetta series in general, is not a very big seller. Shin Megami Tensei has not been selling well for quite some time, so I don't know why you suddenly think the fifth one is going to sell well. Metroid, the biggest selling game ever, was only 4 million units, so, I mean, that's nice, but that's not, I wouldn't call that, like a big heavy hitting game. Breath of the Wild 2, yeah, that's probably going to move over 10 million units. So you can be like bomb after bomb after bomb. In terms of like games you care about, sure, but in terms of games that most consumers care about, not really. See what I'm saying? Like Breath of the Wild is the only one with wide appeal. The rest are really niche. So there's not a lot of Animal Crossings that come out, or Smash Bros, or Zeldas or Marios, etc. Like these are the games that Splatoons that sell 10 million plus copies. There's not a lot of those games left in Nintendo's arsenal. Wonder if Nintendo will do another Shadow Drop game this week. That'd be cool. Mark Greenberg, how would you feel about a dulled down version of Madden on Switch, similar to current FIFA we have? Personally, I'd take any Madden on Switch, but that's just me. No thanks. I want feature parity Madden, same engine, with just the visuals dialed back. That's what I want. Not going to happen. Not going to happen either way. EA doesn't give a crap about Nintendo. I know they claim they have multiple games coming. They do have multiple games already announced for Switch and coming. None of them are a big deal. So, yeah, it won't happen. Am I still going to improve on my setup? I like what I've been doing so far. Probably not anytime soon. I mean, I've got the nice mics. I've had these now for over a year. I got the good mixer. Had that for now over a year. I got the camera, which is really good. Now had that for over a year. Did the shelving unit back here to put all my stuff on. Obviously, that was a recent change to this set. But I don't really have any quality improvements in terms of equipment or sets I'm going to build or anything for a while. I think I'm just kind of good the way things are for now. I think my focus right now is just on content production, and then obviously slowly improving the quality of that production in other ways, like better editing. Like I've been messing with the audio quality lately with the equipment I already have to get the best audio quality out of my mic. So yeah, it's mostly, I need to get a new chair eventually because this chair is starting to fall apart in areas you guys can't really see on camera. Thank God you can't see it on camera. But yeah, there's things that I'm going to improve over time, but nothing major or that I hope you guys even notice, to be honest. Yeah. I want to do some more videos where I'm standing up too. I haven't done any of those videos in a while, so we'll see. Kind of like the old school Prime News episodes where I wasn't sitting at the desk. Part of me wants to not sit at the desk. I don't know. There's a lot that I'm debating between right now. Let's see here. Is Paper Mario the Origami King a day one purchase for you, and why? Maybe because there won't be anything else coming out for Nintendo. So probably. Bravely Default 3. Yep. I'm looking forward to that too. But again, not a huge seller. So. What NES game is behind you? My guess is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. That game right there? It's not a NES game. Not a NES game. They're coasters. So that's Metroid, Duck Hunt, Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. 2. And I have Metroid in the front right now. So yeah, those are just coasters. I think that's where I had them. I don't know. Anyways, yep. Just drink coasters. No big deal. What's my favorite soda? Ooh. I mean, my go-to if I'm gonna have a soda is usually like Cherry Coke Zero. So just like Cherry Coke. I don't know if I call it my favorite. I mean, a lot of the flavored surges are really good. I think you can get those at Burger King now. Flavored Mountain Dew is pretty good. I don't know. They're really. I don't really know if I have a specific favorite, but I guess Cherry Coke's always like my go-to, or like a kitty cocktail. So basically, it's like cherry 7-Up. Pretty good too. I can't tell. I kind of like the flavor cherry in my soda. Let's see here. Hey Nate, hope you're doing well. Besides Breath of the Wild 2, what other first-party games do you think Nintendo will release this year? Nothing but ports and remasters. I don't think they have anything after Paper Mario. But I hope I'm wrong. Like besides ports and remasters. I hope I'm wrong. I really, really hope I'm wrong. But I think they're going to lean heavily into the Mario remasters and then Pikmin and stuff. I think they're going to really hope those Mario remasters are enough. And they might be because it's Mario and it's going to sell a lot. And there's some games like Mario 64 that could look absolutely fantastic remastered. And so, yeah. I think that's what we have to look forward to, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, considering what's happening this year, I think that one of the last things we can complain about is a game lineup. There's a lot of things happening in real life that are just so much more important. It's Switch. Who knows what game will or will not blow up on the platform? Apparently I do. Not to toot my own horn, but if you go back through all my sales prediction videos, I was only really wrong one time. All the other times I was able to correctly predict around the amount of sales that every game that came out on Switch that I talked about was going to get, which is most of the major titles. And I was right on like all of them. So as an example, I think Bayonetta 3, if it comes out this year or next year, is going to be the best-selling Bayonetta in the series. But it's only going to sell like 2.5 million units. I think that, let me see, what other game did you mention? Shin Megami Tensei 5. I think it might crack 1 million units. Might. It's not a very popular IP anymore, so might crack 1 million units. Metroid Prime 4, I think will end up being the best-selling Metroid if it comes out in the next year or two. This is a big caveat, because if it's an end-of-life game like Skyward Sword was, that's going to hurt the sales because people are going to be looking forward to the next system. But if it comes out, this year or next year, Metroid Prime 4 should shift between 5 and 6 million units, which would be the best-selling Metroid game of all time. Breath of the Wild 2, I don't think it's going to hit the sales of the original Breath of the Wild, but can it do like 10 to 12 million? Absolutely, which should only be the second best-selling Zelda game of all time. So it's one of those situations where I've been really spot on with everything I've projected for sales, except for Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. I kind of let my own personal hype get in the way of that. I knew it would sell over 10 million. I was right on that, but I kept thinking maybe you could hit 15 to 20. Obviously, isn't the case. So I was off on that one. I kind of let some personal bias get in there because I really like that game. But it is what it is. But yeah, if you actually look at my history, I'm really good at projecting sales, almost better than some of the analysts for some reason. I don't really know why. It's not really my job. I guess if you guys follow my channel, you guys know I look at numbers, sales numbers all the time. I'm just looking at sales data and trends and then just making predictions, and then I end up usually being right with Switch. I haven't always been right. I was right a lot, like wrong a lot on other platforms, but I don't know what it is about Switch. It's almost like I could just tell what's going to sell and what's not going to sell, or what's going to be big money and what's not going to be, big money for them. It's weird. It's like I'm like a prediction savant with sales on Switch. And there's some games you could ask me about that I'm going to have to go look up prior sales numbers and do some calculations to kind of figure out what I think it would sell. Because I'm not just going to give you raw sales data for games that I don't know prior sales. Because you have to take prior sales into consideration for what's the base audience for that game. And then when does it release? Because release timing has a lot to do with it. Let's see here. What's my happiest moment while gaming? Let's say my happiest gaming moment was probably the reveal of Breath of the Wild 2. I think I cried on stream for that one. That reaction's up on the channel somewhere. But while gaming, oh, that's tough. Because there's a lot of moments growing up that meant a lot to me and impacted my life and gave me some escapism at times when I needed escapism. My parents were fighting or something was going on. Relationship woes, all that stuff. Honestly, there's been a lot of happy times as well gaming with you guys on stream, whether it was, Splatoon matches, or those are the ones that stick out the most, but there's been Fortnite and others that we've played together. But I think personally, what comes to my mind when I think about gaming moments is the first time that me and Yulia played Animal Crossing together. This is why Animal Crossing will probably always hold a spot close to my heart, because we reconnected in gaming in a way we haven't connected since, I think, Super Mario Brothers U, or maybe it was 3D World. One of those two. I think we played them both back on Wii U. We haven't really played a game together since then until Animal Crossing. And we had so much just pure joy running around for 7 straight hours fishing. We did nothing but fish in Animal Crossing for 7 straight hours together. And as boring as that sounds, it is one of my favorite times I've had gaming. And Animal Crossing isn't even like the typical kind of game I enjoy, but because I was doing it with her, it just made it that much more amazing. So that's like maybe probably the moment that sticks in my mind the most. I don't want to say it's my favorite. There's so many, but that's the one that sticks in my mind right now when I think about it. AR Armando says, when do you think Splatoon 3 will come out, and what do you think will be the new features? I think Splatoon's going to turn into a once per system franchise, like Smash is. So I think we're going to see Splatoon 3 on the next platform. So Switch 2. So 2023, 2024 could even be a launch game. And the new features, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I literally couldn't tell you. I enjoy Splatoon so much, but I'm like the last person you should go to for ideas for that game. Everything they do with it to me is like gold. From Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 2, literally every idea they have I love. So just keep doing that, Nintendo. Just keep being you and keep throwing your crazy, wacky ideas at it, and I'm probably going to love it. Let me see here. Scroll down. Question for you. How long after release of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X do you think Nintendo will release new hardware? I don't think it's going to affect their release anyways. Nintendo has repeatedly said they're around the middle of the console's life cycle, so you got to figure 3 more years. So 2023, 2024, probably end of 2023, I would say, is when you would see it. So we're still a few years away, or 2.5 years away or so. Let's see here. I really hope the Mario remasters are real, says John. Me too. How about a new 3D Wario game? Why not? Haha, Wario. Let's get some more Wario games, huh? Ring Fit Adventure and Super Mario Party have sold unexpectedly well. Super Mario Party did what I thought it would do. I thought it was going to become the best-selling Mario Party game because every first-party game on Switch sells more than it did before. Ring Fit Adventure, to me, it depends on what your expectations were. If Nintendo thought it was going to be the new Wii Fit, then it definitely undersold. But if they were realistic about it, yeah, it's a really good selling game. I think it sold like 2.3 million or something like that, close to that. That's really good. And I plan to pick up Ring Fit at some point too and make it part of my workout regime. Maybe I'll even do a Ring Fit Adventure workout video series or something at some point if I can get my hands on the game. It's hard to find copies of it right now. Do I collect Pokemon cards? Used to, don't anymore. Still have a whole bunch of the old school ones from Wizards of the Coast laying around, but I don't. My daughter does. My kids kind of collect them here and there, but they don't like go out of their way to go buy them. It's just they get them for gifts or whatever. But Nate, you're a better analyst than Michael Pachter. That's all that matters. I'm not going to go that far. What people forget about the analyst work is we see the public comments on things, and like we assume that like that's what they do for a living. It's part of what they do, giving interviews and answering those questions. But a lot of what they do are private, paid for, like 30, 60, 100-page reports that help people make financial decisions to invest millions of dollars into different stocks and when to sell and when to buy. And Michael Pachter does cover a lot of gaming stocks, including Nintendo. The thing is, his talk on individual games and individual this and individual that don't mean jack squat, because what he's trying to do is predict whether Nintendo stock is going to go up and down, and if people should invest millions into their stock or if they should sell. And so he's really, really good at that. He's so good at that he's become one of the best people in the industry for it. I would trust him with my investment portfolio any day of the week. And that's the thing. People forget these analysts, their jobs aren't actually about what you hear in interviews and what we hear publicly. They're about what people pay them for. And what they pay them for is to help them invest their money. So, yeah. I'm not going to start saying I'm better than Michael Pachter at predicting sales and all this, because he's looking at it from a stock perspective. I'm looking at it from a unit perspective. You could sell millions and millions of units, but hold on. My son needs me for some reason. 1 second. Yeah, that's my youngest. He's throwing a fit now because we're on a no video game kick in the house for the kids. None of them are allowed to play their tablets or play Switch or anything. And so he's like, "Oh, can I play?" And I'm like, "Nope." It's become an issue. We'll probably let him play again in the summer, but we need to get all the school stuff done. This homeschooling thing is just a pain in the butt, I'm telling you. Anyways, let's see here. So many AAA games have been delayed to August, September, and October. Yep. My happiest moment in game was the first 20 hours of Breath of the Wild. I can hear you on that. Let's see here. New 2D Metroid could still be in the pipeline this year. I think Mercury Steam got the right to work on HD. I have no idea. It could be in the works for this year. Beats me. All right, guys. Keep the questions on coming. You guys still have a little bit here. I mean, I'm in no rush technically right now, so I've got a little bit of time before I have to go worry about making lunch and everything. It's only like almost 10 a.m., so I still got a little time. I'm just glancing at the news cycle to see if anything came out that I want to make a video on with my remaining time, or if I'm just going to keep streaming with you guys. So new Ghost of Tsushima news. Guess I don't really see too much yet. Not too much big news anyways. I mean, some things some people will be interested in, of course. There's always news out there someone's interested in. Or the news wouldn't exist. Like Golf with Friends is out. Basically. I don't know if that's exactly what it's called. There's a new golf game out you play multiplayer with people on Switch. Let's see here. Do you think a Switch Pro is coming out this year? Hell no. Hell no. There was a time I did think it was. My last Switch Pro video actually did really good. But not anymore. I think that's another casualty of the pandemic. Now I'm not even sure we're going to get a Switch Pro at all. Which is convenient for people who thought it never existed in the first place. But they can't even keep stock of the normal Switch. They're not going to release a new one. Am I hyped for Ghost of Tsushima? No. But I kind of have a disclaimer with that no. It's not that I wouldn't be into the game. It's not that I don't think the game looks good. It's not that I don't want to play the game. I don't own a PlayStation 4, so I won't be playing the game, at least not now. Will I pick it up on PlayStation 5? Absolutely. But I don't own a PlayStation 4. So when I buy a PlayStation 5, yes, I have a crap load of PlayStation 4 games to go back and play and do some better late than never reviews, which, yes, I'm still working on Luigi's Mansion 3. Okay? I'm still working on it. I'll get there. Someday. Sometime this year, I'll finally finish that game off so I can do a better late than never review of it. But, that's kind of like why my hype level isn't super high for it right now, is because I just know I'm not going to be playing it for a long time. So when I know I'm not going to be playing a game for a long time, even if I want to, I kind of let my hype die out for it because what's it matter? What's it matter? Why get hyped for something I personally can't play for a long time? Let's see here. Unreal Engine 5 will benefit the Switch the most, according to YouTuber Dr.81. Do I agree? Is that what he said? I know who that guy is. I've seen some of his videos. He's really good at scouring. Oh, that doesn't. Let me look up. I haven't seen his video on this. So did he say that on Twitter or did he put it in a video? I'm actually curious. Curious to see what his points are and see if I agree with them. Yeah, it says could change Nintendo development forever. Clearly, he thinks. Clearly, he thinks that it's a big deal. So I'll have to watch his video. I haven't seen it to really tell you the truth, to be honest. So I'll watch it later. Who knows? Maybe I'll make a follow-up video to it or something. Maybe that's my inspiration today. Maybe it's his video. How well did Link's Awakening on Switch do, the remake? It had frame rate issues, but has it undersold? I'm just gonna glance at the actual sales. Link's Awakening sales. See what the Wikipedia, by the way, is not by no means like official, but I'm just seeing if they have any sales listed here. Okay, as of March 31st, 2020, the game has sold 4.38 million. And I'm trying to remember what the original sale of Link's Awakening was. I don't think that's undersold. For a top-down Zelda game, you could say it undersold, I guess, compared to say, Breath of the Wild, but I don't think anyone expected that game to do anywhere close to Breath of the Wild numbers. At least they shouldn't have. I'm trying to find the sales data here. My usual sites are not working right now. So it sold 3.83 million units. So it did outsell the original game's release on Game Boy in 1993. So I think you got to view that as a success. It sold more copies than the original did. $5 from the Game Complainers. Awesome. Thank you so much for that super chat. It says, hey, Nate, my cousin and I would love to do podcasts with you to help you out. We do multiple gaming podcasts, and we'd like to help you grow. Thanks. The Game Complainers. I've never heard of you guys. I'll have to see some of your content, hear your audio quality and stuff, too, because I try to keep the audio quality halfway decent on the podcast if I can. No one has to be like insane setup like I have. Let me see. You got a channel with, 700 subscribers, 220 videos? Hosted by Perry and Anthony. Yeah, I'll keep your channel open. Looks like you do a lot of long-form podcast stuff. You got Game Complainers, episode 334. You're doing it for a long time. And you have some other ones. Microsoft Xbox, My Son, episode 4. I'll give these a watch. If I feel like you guys would mesh well with what we got going on. I can keep you guys in mind. Do you have any content information on your YouTube page? I'm just glancing here. It doesn't look like you have any content or any contact information. So you might want to add like an email or something to your about section, and then I can try to get a hold of you guys if I think you guys would be a good fit. But yeah, thanks for the offer, man. Thanks for the $5. If you want to guarantee you to be on the podcast, you want to completely get rid of my decision on whether or not you should. Technically, we have a $20 and up Patreon tier that if you join that, you are guaranteed to be invited on one episode of the podcast every month. But I'm not saying that's the only way to get on the podcast. I will check out your stuff, see if it meshes, see if getting you guys, you and your cousin on an episode would be ideal. We do video stuff, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be live streaming it anymore. That's something I haven't decided on. I don't know if you guys just do audio only, which it looks like based on one video that you guys do audio only, which is fine. Audio only is fine for some things. But we'll see. That's all I can tell you is we'll see. Thanks so much, though, for pointing it out. Check you guys out. It'll be live after the fact. Amazon, Disney want to buy everything. That's the way it is. Joshua Link says the 3DS family of systems are no longer sold in stores. Looks to be done. What are your thoughts on its legacy? Do you still play 3DS games? I have not played a 3DS game in probably 2 or 3 years. As for what are my thoughts on its legacy? It is the worst selling handheld in Nintendo's history. It's an oddball system. Because the main gimmick of the system ended up not mattering for why it sold, even though it was a really impressive tech at the time. The glasses-free 3D, people were blown away by it at the time. But it ended up not even being a real selling point of the system, despite the AR cards and everything. So I think it's going to be remembered as kind of like that tweener system. Like, it's an upgraded DS, is what people are going to view it as. It's the DS, but better. And that's forever its legacy. It's just a better DS. And if Nintendo's not careful, that's what a Switch 2 could end up looking like too. Unless they use a number system. Wouldn't it be interesting if Nintendo decided to finally use a number system? You know, like PlayStation does? That would make me think like Switch 2, Switch 3, Switch 4 would be a thing. But I have no idea. I don't know how long they plan to stick with this current type of system. All right, you guys got any other questions? Keep them rolling in. This is an AMA. Ask me anything you damn well feel like. Ooh, I got a phone call from someone that I think I was waiting for and I missed it. Let me see if that was the same number that they called me from before. Oh, I don't know because they call from different numbers all the time. Well, one way I can Google the phone number and see what shows up. Maybe it was just a collection agency because maybe I didn't pay some bill or something. No, I'm pretty sure all my bills are fine. But this was something to do with my student loans. Yeah, I get that it's a Minnesota number from Duluth, but that doesn't help me. Yeah. Maybe I just call it back quick and see who answers. Why not? Yeah, someone called me from this number. I'm on your mom and dad's phone? That's weird because this has been my phone number for like a year. That's weird. Okay. All right. Yeah, bye. Some guy randomly called me from Minnesota and apparently it comes up as his mom and dad's phone number. That's so weird. Oh well, got that sorted out. Let's see here. We do audio and video. We just private videos after a month or two. We also live stream with and without a video. I'll message you with our email info. All right. Yeah, because I don't know if you've seen our podcast before. We see we're all on video, and if I do it non-live stream version, I still do video. I just gather the video from the guests and then I edit it all together. Live streams makes it a little easier. I don't know. There's a lot of logistics with it, but I prefer people to be on video. But if they can't be on video, it's okay. I don't really require it. It just makes things look nicer. That's all. Does asking a question count as an entry in the Xenoblade drawing? Unfortunately, no. So let me explain how this works. I use a program for my giveaways that examine the comments. That's why I mentioned in the last video, the comments are very important. If you don't do the comment, you can't be entered. It'll go to the comment and it'll tell me if that person who commented is subscribed, if they liked the video. It won't tell me if you liked or disliked, by the way. It just tells me if you interacted with the like or dislike button. So technically, you could dislike the video, but I don't want to to enter this giveaway, dislike the video. I'm not gonna tell people that. So it'll tell me if you like the video. It'll tell me if you're subscribed, and it'll also tell me if you have notifications turned on. What that means is it'll basically let me know if you hit the bell icon. So it'll let me know if you did those 3 things, plus I see the comment. So then that means it's a valid entry into the contest. Then I can grab your name and I can put it into a random generator, and I'll grab your username as many times as it is entered per, not multiple comments per video, but once per video. And then I'll just hit the random generator, and it just spits a name out at me, and that's the name who wins. So unfortunately, it doesn't work with comments in the live chat of a live stream. Because those comments are live and they're very hard to track. The program doesn't work like that. So what happens is after the stream goes up live after the fact for on-demand viewing, then you need to like the video. Well, you can like the video anyways, but then you can comment down in the comment section on that video instead of in the live chat. And that's how you get an entry on live streams. That's just how I run things. Sorry. I could sit through and sift through, go username by username, and then try to find another comment you made and see if you're subscribed and all that. But that's a lot more effort than I really want to put into it. It already takes me a lot of time to compile all the entries at the end of the month. So, next Nintendo console will be called the new Super Nintendo Switch Lite 3DS XL. What's my favorite meal at McDonald's? Don't eat there a lot, but probably just ever since they changed to the quarter pounders to making them like not letting them sit in the heat tray as long. The quarter pounder, like the bacon quarter pounders, are pretty good, or like a bacon McDouble. I love bacon. Bacon's awesome. Or like you can't go wrong with like the chicken tenders. I forget what they're called. Not the chicken nuggets. The chicken nuggets are okay, but like the tenders, the strips that are super high calorie and just crazy tasty, but I don't get them because they're freaking super high calorie. Those are really good. And who doesn't like McDonald's fries? But I don't really eat there that often. The last time I had McDonald's was like 2 months ago, something like that. I don't have it like hardly ever. Anymore. Used to have it a lot more often, hence me blowing up to 300 pounds, but I'm almost down to 200. Oh, I'm so excited. Can't wait to step on that scale, hopefully in like a month or 2 months here, and be under 200. Oh, it's gonna be great. Heck, I'm going on a cruise. I don't know if you guys know this. Big announcement. Whoa. Going on a cruise next year. That's right. Going on the cruise. Got my down payment paid and everything. Going on a cruise to the Bahamas next year. Gonna swim with the dolphins. Gonna swim with some stingrays. Maybe swim with some seals. We'll see. But for sure, dolphins and stingrays. We're gonna be knocking a couple items off of me and Yulia's bucket list, and we'll be going together. Yeah, we're gonna be going on a 4-night, Monday through Friday. Yeah. Planning to surprise her with some things, so she's not gonna watch the stream this far in anyways. She's at work right now, but yeah, like surprise her. I'm buying some stuff for the room to kind of surprise her. It's not even our anniversary technically wouldn't be till like a month later, but we're not doing much for our anniversary. So I'm going to be kind of going all out. There's going to be like flowers and she loves Bluetooth speakers. Well, they happen to have one with our cruise that I can buy for like $50. That's like a floating Bluetooth speaker. That's really cool. And apparently I've talked to some other people that bought it and it's really nice. So I'm going to be getting that. And yeah, we're just going to be having a good time. I'm VIP treating her the whole way, the whole shebang, anything she wants to do. Wants to go to the casino while we're on one of the islands. Heck, let's go to the casino and have some fun. I don't really care. VIP treatment, setting aside a ton of money for it. To do the actual trip, probably $2,000 or less for everything, but I'm going to be spending more than that because we haven't gone on a real vacation like this in 9 years, and it's going to be 10 years next year. So we earned it. I got babysitting situations already taken care of. My sister's taking the kids. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, going to be a lot of fun. Going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait. And the thing is, we're not married, so like it's not like a wedding anniversary for us, like it is for you, John. But congratulations on your 8-year wedding anniversary. I mean, like like we're engaged. Yes, I have a ring on. We're engaged, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. I'm so pumped. Like I wish we were gonna do it this year actually, because it's a lot cheaper this year. But they keep pushing back the cruises and canceling them, so like I could schedule one for July this year, save even more money, but it's probably just going to get canceled anyways. So I might as well just wait till next summer. We're going in the summer. I would have liked to go in the spring or in the fall, but it's a lot more hard. It's a lot harder when the kids are in school than during the summer. So, just be careful at the beach for people that rent jet skis. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the jet ski thing. I mean, I'm not saying we won't go swimming. I did think about renting a private cabana on one of the, because we go to 2 different islands, Nassau. That's I think we're going to do the Dolphins for sure, and I can't remember the other island we're going to. But one of the islands I was looking at possibly renting a private cabana, which basically just has like a walkway down into what they claim is crystal clear water, crystal blue water, whatever. So. But we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to go quite that far, but I don't know. She's a really spur of the moment person, so she would have never pulled the trigger on this. She knows about it. So I pulled the trigger on it, put the down payment down, and then we're just going to go, and I'm going to make sure that her and I have the time of our lives and just really, really enjoy that. Who knows? Maybe we end up making it a yearly thing where we go on a cruise every year. Beats me. She wants to go to Vegas sometime too. She's never been. So who knows? Maybe next year we'll do the cruise. The year after, maybe we'll go to Vegas or something. I don't know. But it's gonna be awesome. Nassau and Freeport. Let me actually log in and look here. Actually, I probably have to go to my email. I don't think I've ever logged in on my computer. On my email and actually find the login information for my trip. Let's see here. Oh, that's right. It's in my other email because I wanted to make sure it's an email account that works all the time because my Nintendo Prime one doesn't always work, but this one does. Okay. Yeah. What email is that in? Thought it was in this one. I know I have emails for. Let me just check on my phone. That's what happens when I do things on my phone and then I don't check anything. What do I have new emails for? I really gotta clear out my emails. All right. Scroll down here. Didn't I? Well, I'll just search. There. That was sent to. Yeah. Okay. Yep. It was in the email. I thought. Let me just. Yep. There we go. All right. So let's go to my cruise manager here. That's the email. I don't even know if I know what my password is. Is it that? Is it this? They even give me a password? I don't remember signing up for a password. Yeah, let me just say I forgot my password. Just reset. I don't remember even setting a password, so I'm sure they set one for me. Anyways, see if it says anything in the email about that. About that. It probably doesn't in the email. Yeah, no, I have to log into my cruise thing. It's okay. But I'll let you know which other port it is. I just know Nassau was one of them because I wanted to make sure that was included because that has some of the best dolphin swimming experiences. That's on her list. NFL draft will be in Vegas. Yeah. Hard to social distance during a cruise though. I'm not worried about social distancing like over a year from now. We're going July 26th of 2021. So I ain't worried about it. I am not worried about it. Nate hella beat OJ into You're probably the only person who thinks that, so thanks for the compliment. I've been to Nassau many times in Assassin's Creed 4 Back Flag. I'm sure you have. Whoa. Oh, there's the password reset. I was wondering what was coming. Click here to reset. All right. I'm gonna go with a password that I'll always remember. All right. So it's all right. Logging in. See what the other port was quick. Oh, there it is. I already got the gratuities prepaid for. Let's see here. Okay, well, we're stopping at Half Moon K. So NASA on Half Moon K is the other one. Half Moon K is where I'm going to end up doing, I think, the Stingray. Now, I could do the Stingray, the Dolphin, and the Sea Lions all together for like $200 a pop per person in Nassau, but I don't know if we want to do that. I think we don't want to. When we arrive at the islands, I don't know if we want everything scheduled out that we're going to do. I think we just want like one thing that takes up a chunk of the time, and then we'll use the rest of the time around that island to chill on the beach or do whatever we feel like doing at that time. So like the first day we depart from Miami. Then we have a fun day at the sea. So, day 2 is you're literally just on the cruise ship the whole time, which is fine. There's a lot to do on the ship. And then Half Moon Cay on day 3, Nassau day 4, and then we're back in Miami. So, yep. It's going to feel like it flies by, to be completely honest. It'll also be the longest both of us have gone without one of us being around the kids. So, yeah. I might even surprise her with a spa treatment for day 2. I'm debating on surprising her with a spa treatment. Well, we'll see. Again, I'm kind of going all out here. All out, because we haven't done anything like this the entire time we've been together. So, most we've done is like a couple nights at a hotel and casino, like an hour from here. So, all right. Back to the stream, wherever it is. There it is. Guys, got any other questions? I got a question. Can you guys tell I've lost weight? I'm always curious if people can tell. I know a little bit's gone in the face, but I still kind of got like this extra double chin action that'll go away over time. I guess the best way to probably tell is from the side. Step back so you can see where my leg is. So I feel like I've lost weight. I feel like when we push it out, I feel like it used to be like out to here, but now it's actually right here. I still had that really hard chunk of thing from my hernia that I don't know. I gotta get that taken care of at some point. But it feels like I've lost a lot of weight. I'm down from size 38 to size 36 pants for good now. All my size 38s are way too big on me. Next up is size 34. All right. There's lots to do at Nassau without scheduling excursions. The taxi rides are fun. Yeah, like we're gonna do. I think the dolphin experience is like a total 3-hour experience. You got an hour with the dolphins themselves, and then like a 2-hour excursion or whatever. But we're there at what time does it arrive at? We arrive. Let me see, in Nassau at 8 a.m. And it departs at 4. I think we have to be back by 3. So if we, let's just say activities start at 9. Let's say, because I haven't paid for it. I got to pay for it ahead of time. So I'm gonna, have that happen at 9. I hope there's an open slot at 9. So then we can be done by noon or 1, and then we still have a couple hours to kind of bum around and do whatever. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. What's cool, though, is if I do the full Stingray, Dolphin, Sea Lion thing, which is a package, at Nassau, I could leave Half Moon Cay completely open to do whatever we want while we're there, instead of having to schedule something for that day, too. But I don't know. It's kind of playing it by ear. I mean, let me see what happens if I add this to the cart. Do I have to pay for this right now? I'm pretty sure I have to pay for this right now. There are some things you have to pay for right now, other things you can pay for later. But I'm pretty sure like any of this stuff here I have to pay for right away. So I'm just adding it and seeing what it says to me. Loading. Not available. Okay. Let's find something that is available then, dang it. It was the massage I was looking at. Anyways, I'll figure this out in a little bit. They have a whole bunch of different massage things. No. Oh, there it is. Now that massage is available. So like day 1. You can't get, there's no way you can go at 12. The boat doesn't even, I don't know, maybe the boat does. They said 2 hours before it departs, it loads. To get the massage like right away when we get on. Nah, I'm probably overwhelmed. The next day at 10:30. That sounds like a good time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have to check out right away. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, I have to pay for it right away. So yeah, there's some of these things that I'm gonna kind of pay off it throughout the year. The rest of the cruise I'm paying off with the tax return next year. But I'm doing some of these things I need to get scheduled and paid off ahead of time, and this is all these activities. So I'm gonna have to save up like $700 over the summer to do this, and it's kind of crazy to do it because I'm getting a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X at launch. At least that's the plan. So I gotta save up for that too. Man, just dropping the Benjamins like I'm rich or something. Do I think Nintendo will make any more Labo? I hope so, but I'm not so sure. Nate, you're on video. Fizz drink consumption is way down. Congrats. We don't use the word soda in Australia. Yeah, do you use pop instead? What did I eat for breakfast? Nothing. What do you think the character ratio in the new fighter pass will be? How many first party? How many third party? 2 first party, the rest third party. I do still plan to get the new consoles at launch. All right, I gotta go now. Yulia just texted me. She needs me to bring her some lunch at work, which is cool. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I mean, this was a pretty lengthy one for me, longer than usual. What did we hit? Does it even tell me? It doesn't even tell me on my end how many hours I've been doing this. Probably at least 2. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's been real. It's been fun. Hope you enjoyed it. It will be there later if you missed some of it, so you can watch it live or watch it on demand.